tonight. The ground beneath my feet is open wide. The way that I've been holding on too tight, with nothing in between. The story of my life, I take her home. I drive all night to keep her warm in time. It's frozen. The story of my life, I give her hope. I spend her love until she's broke inside. The story of my life. Written on these walls are the colors that I can't change. Leave my heart open, but it stays right here in its cage. I know that in the morning now, see us in the light upon the hill. Although I am broken, my heart is untamed still. And I'll be gone, gone tonight. Fire beneath my feet is burning bright. The way that I've been holding on so tight, with nothing in between. The story of my life, I'll take her home. I drive all night to keep her warm in time. It's frozen. The story of my life, I give her hope. I spend her love until she's broke inside. The story of my life. And I've been waiting for this time to come around. But baby, running after you is like chasing the clouds. The story of my life, I take her home. I drive all night to keep her warm and time is frozen. The story of my life, I give her hope. I spend her love until she's broke inside. The story of my life. The story of my life. The story of my life. The story of my life.
Ready.
Good morning. I am going to be taking lots of pauses. I'm Dave Clemish. My wife, Chris, and I, we met Savannah and her family back in 1996, 1997, when she was first getting diagnosed with LGS. My wife was the Navy nurse at the Balboa Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, and we got to know the Salazars very quickly. My wife, at first through work, and then through so many dinners at the Salazars' house. They're on base housing over in Murphy Canyon. We had back and forth dinners all the time. Our kids played. Tracy recently sent a picture of 5-year-old Savannah putting my 3-year-old into the little baby cradle, and then my 3-year-old put Savannah in the baby cradle, and she caught both of those in pictures, holding the bottles and everything. I remember the Salazar's You're on Base house it was a 2-story house because Ruben would always challenge the kids to a race up the stairs, and he never let them win. He always said if they're going to win on their own, and they never won. We cheered on Talon at all sorts of soccer games. Where are you, Talon? I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. I still remember the one game that he lost when he was 8. I don't remember the score or the date, but his dad certainly remembers the score, the date, and every play of the game. We became fast friends with the Salazar family. As people here know, if you become friends with the Salazars, it's for keeps. So I've been asked by Savannah's family to pass on this message. Thank you. Thank you all for your kindness. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for reaching out to them over these past 6 weeks, especially your texts, your calls, your messages. They offered undefinable support to them during an incredibly and impossibly difficult grieving process. From Tracy and Ruben, thank you. Thank you for recognizing that when they did not return messages, or when they forgot details, or when they were simply quiet and sad, that it was their profound grief coming through. Savannah was blessed with a wonderful, loving, supportive family. Tracy and Ruben, Talon and Ashley, Ruben Salazar III and Melissa, Samantha and Nick. But really, from Savannah's point of view, it was all about Nikki. The entire Salazar family welcomes you today, and they each invite you to share in celebrating the fabulous life of their beloved Savannah. We gather today with heavy hearts. We mourn the loss of Savannah Rain Salazar, and we are incredibly saddened that we no longer get to share in her brightness of her daily joy. We seek grace and understanding as we struggle to make sense of this loss. We pray for Savannah's family and friends, that we may all be surrounded with love, and that we may all feel strength, while we also absolutely deeply feel our sorrow. May we find comfort in the memories of Savannah's life, in the love she shared, and in the joy she brought to those around her. May her spirit find peace. With love and kindness, help us to remember that even in our grief, love endures. Savannah certainly showed this to be true, that like Savannah, we can certainly feel our sadness and our loss, and we can also find the love. We're all traveling together through this time of mourning, and even when it is beyond our understanding, we can share our mourning together. Amen. We come together today to remember and honor Savannah Salazar, whose spirit will forever live in our hearts. It is hard to describe the depth of loss that we feel, that I feel, as we say goodbye. Savannah was a beautiful person who shared her beauty with everyone she met. Her smile. When she saw you enter the room, she warmed your heart with her complete authenticity. Her eyes danced, her smile warmed, and she didn't just say hi, she greeted you with her entireness. Her dancing. Who here danced with Savannah? Either in person or online in one of the many videos that Tracy and Ruben posted. She was always ready for a song and a dance from her bands, especially those boy bands. Her orange boys, her green boys, her blue boys. And she was always open and honest with what she was doing. Look at me, I'm dancing. Her flirting with the boys. I like your shirt. I like your shoes. I tickle you. Straight up, I like your boy. My sons, I have 3 kids. My sons gave their old high school and their old college gear to Savannah, and we received so many pictures with her wearing those shirts. Go Eagles. Her management of the household staff. Look at my face. You work for me, Dad. Savannah was passionate about countering her dad. She had the ultimate checkmate at her disposal. Even if Ruben was able to get her to sit down when she didn't want to, or if she had to take medicine when she didn't want to, when it looked like she just might actually lose an argument with him, she'd reach into her bag of tricks and checkmate her dad with the ultimate defense. Boo Raiders. And there's no counter argument to that one. And then she'd flash her smile and she'd clap her hands and she would dance her eyes with the satisfaction of having beat her dad yet again. Her fashion, we can see it here. Bright shirts, flowing skirts, tutus, dazzling shoes, snazzy gloves, and always encouraged by Tracy and Ruben to spin and showcase for the camera as she trained for her walks and her fundraisers, or as she was just being at home. Her absolute sense of equality, and that was demanded by Tracy and Ruben. LGS may have affected her physical body, but she knew she had a seat at the family table. She traveled wherever her parents traveled. She flew wherever they flew. She went where she was going to go. And she had the world's two strongest advocates at her side. Her mom, Tracy, who took herself from an adult with a high school degree to a doctor with a PhD and a postdoc in research with the primary goal of healing her daughter and curing LGS. And her dad, a self-described machine gun in a violin case, able to sit quietly, at least as quietly as Ruben can, until he was called upon to come out with guns blazing. If his daughter needed it, if their daughter needed it, it was going to get put out of the way. Ruben and Tracy cleared hurdles out of the way of Savannah so that Savannah could share her personality with the world. But you better believe she helped at home. She helped to clean up after meals, and she helped to fold laundry. You better believe she had to defend her own debates. You better believe that as much as her parents cleared unnecessary obstacles out of her way, things were not handed to her. Tracy and Ruben raised Savannah to be an active part of their family, and that her voice mattered. And did she ever know how to use her voice? As we gather here today, loving the fullness of who Savannah was, I know that I feel incredible sadness. I will miss her. I do miss her. I know we all miss her. I also know that each of us knows we are fortunate to have had Savannah in our lives, and that we will move forward with her values in our heart. Let us carry forward with Savannah's love. Let us carry forward with Savannah's confidence. Let us share her joy by living each day how Savannah lived, knowing there's always time for some good music, whether it's some of your own favorite songs or even better, the music of a boy band. There is always time to love on your people, whether it's your mom and dad, your brother and sister, your family, your friends, Freddie the dog. There is always time to live with Savannah's confidence and zest, dancing whenever you feel the music, and wherever you happen to be when you do feel that music, welcoming people with the warmest embrace and the kindest words, feeling your emotions, and when they're heavy, feel the heaviness. And when the emotions are light, feel the lightness. Always being ready to forgive. Like Savannah, we can each commit to growing the relationships with whoever our people are. Savannah was a force for authentic relationships with her people. I know I learned that from her. And I will be working hard to continue investing love and honesty in my own relationships. On behalf of Savannah, I encourage each one of us to making that commitment today, investing in your people. One more thing. There is always time to defend your core beliefs when challenged to a debate, especially if it annoys your parents. Let us share Savannah's ability to make everything right again by developing your own phrase or borrowing Savannah's phrase. Boo Raiders. Boo Raiders.
Or no.
No. What other phrases?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. Mom, Dad didn't let me do that. I'm tattling on Dad. After 30 years, Savannah's body was weary from LGS. Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30 says, Come to me. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Rest in peace, dear Savannah. We love you, and we miss you. Tracy and Ruben have asked several people to come up and share some memories of Savannah. Bobby? I'm not going to introduce each person, so a couple directions. This is from Ruben and Tracy. Introduce yourself. And if you go too long, I've been commissioned.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm the Gunny's younger brother. Yes, it's the Gunny. I know there's a lot of whispers in the room and in their circle, and I wanted to address the elephant in the room. And I've heard the whispers, and despite what my brother has said, I'm not adopted. My mom did love me. But in reality, I'm Savannah's Theo. She was gifted to us 32 years ago. And she wove herself in the fabric of our family, in the community, nationally, and globally. There's not much I can say that's not going to be said here today. You're going to hear stories of love, laughter, sacrifice, and inspiration, all established with the foundation by Tracy and my brother. Very challenging to stand here before you and try to express exactly the love that we have for each other. But I'll make my feeble attempt at it, nonetheless. Our family has established a lineage since the early 1800s in South Texas. We have family spread through Texas, Colorado, California, Wisconsin, across this great nation. And Savannah has not only reached out and inspired people all over the world, but even as close as our immediate family. My cousin from Abilene, Texas, when we lost Savannah, called, brokenhearted, and shared an inspirational story about her struggles. She was diagnosed with a degenerative disease that took her eyesight. But before she lost her eyesight, she was an avid follower of Savannah and my brother on social media. She recognized the fact that Savannah lived life, embraced every moment. And as my cousin was feeling sorry for herself and what had happened to her physically, she had the epiphany of Savannah. And how Savannah, yet challenged by this horrible disease, somehow found light in life. And that changed her perspective on what she was truly blessed with. You're going to hear stories like that. And I can't even begin to tell you. We'll be here forever. But I've been 3 minutes, so. I'm not there yet, brother. I'm not there yet. But I want to close it really quickly here. And I want to paraphrase what my sister has said over the years. That Savannah was never handicapped. It was we as society that are handicapped. She was the only normal one who lived life the way God meant us to live. So it is incumbent upon us as individuals to take away the lessons that, yes, Savannah Rain has taught us and apply them. Because life is so sweet, but it doesn't last forever. Yes, Savannah is gone physically today, but she only goes away when we stop talking about her, when we stop living her. And on behalf of the Salazar family, I thank you for coming. I thank you for loving, and I thank you for supporting my brother and our family and Tracy. Thank you. Am I in 3 minutes? Go.
All right. Melissa, I got my phone. When I talk too much, I got her texting me, so. Or a bell. If you ring the bell, too bad. My bad. I apologize. Oh, wow.
Who are you?
Yeah. I get the honor of being Savannah's oldest brother. 3 minutes up yet, right? No? All right. It's so long, 3 minutes. I'm not gonna have a lot, because I won't be able to get it out, so hit me up afterwards, you know. Send me a text, send me a call, I don't know. I love my sister. So much. Yeah. She lived life. She really did. She was my baby sister, you know, and but I looked up to her. I look up to my younger siblings. I do. It's hard being the oldest, because you feel like you have to be strong, try and lead where you can, direct where you can, keep those, you know, show you can have emotions while still, I don't know, trying to process this. So I know when I talked with Talon, when we first came out last month, you know, we were just talking through, you know, the mess that this is right now, and he's like, hey, do you got any advice? And I still don't have advice. I don't have it. I don't think I'll ever have it. But hey, we'll make it. We'll make it. And I know I told Tracy this. I had told whoever, it doesn't matter. But I mean, you gave me some extra time with my sister. You went back to school. You helped her. I thank you. I love you. Yeah, she's my stepmom, and I told her this. I told Talon this. I think I told her, I don't know, but she's my stepmom. But anybody who willingly marries into the Salazar family, willfully, grounded me when I was younger, gave me spankings when I was younger. I don't know if I can say that online. You know, she didn't beat me, you know, but I got a belt or two when I was acting up. Anybody that's willing to do that and love my family. I told her that. I mean, she's not my stepmom, so I feel like it's a step down below that role of mom. You know, and she was never a step below that. She always stepped up. I told her she's my mom. This is my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. There's no stepsies, no halvesies, no nothing. You know, you're my mom. You are. I mean, golly, 3 minutes, right? That's golly. Yeah, I mean, just to wrap up, I thank you. I really do. I'll thank you. Savannah, she rocked life out. She did it. And you guys got to see that. I got to see it, you know, up close and personal. But and I'm sorry for the sound guy. Apologies. My bad. But she would love you. I mean, I'm gonna miss my cuddle sessions on a couch, just laying down, having her drool on my shirt. doing the wavy fingers. I like you. Like, I like you too. You're stuck with me, Nana. So I sure hope you like me. But just her fingers, when she got excited, it just got to the fingertips and yeah, and all that stuff. And then her little, her little hip wiggle, fingers going. And golly, she just liked to dance. I know I told you this last time, Tracy, but I like watching the videos. Keep posting the videos, please, because I mean, I'm a typical guy. I don't take pictures, I don't take videos. I go to my wife. She's it. I mean, I got social media, but I quit. It's tiring to try and keep up my own life, let alone share my life with you guys. So you want to hit her up? There we go, at Salazar Clan. Bam. I'm gonna wrap up. I thank you very much for everything here. Sorry to Bobby, I went longer than I did. I told him to take a shepherd's crook, to pull me off, play some music for the Oscars, get me off the stage. But I thank you. I thank you all. Miss Jenny, so good to see you. Hi, Miss Jenny. You're a good hugger. I miss Miss Jenny. I do. All you guys, thank you. You impact our lives. Amen. Bye-bye. That's it. That's fine.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny Terrazon, and I am a friend of Ruben and Tracy. And just to give you a little background, me and Ruben went to high school together, so I've known him that long. We were in marching band. Yeah. And my husband and my boyfriend at the time, of course, did not like him. I don't know why, but but by some, I don't know, chance or whatever, this guy would not stop following us. So once we got married, he graduated from high school. He joined the Marine Corps like my husband, followed him to almost every duty station. I was like, we just couldn't quit him. Like, how do we get rid of this guy? So we ended up just like family. And when I met Tracy, we were stationed at MCAS El Toro. She was pregnant with Talon, and I was pregnant with Rebecca, and we were just two young mothers just hanging out and sharing babysitting responsibilities. I feel like they got the raw end of the deal because we only had to take care of their one child, and they had four of our hellions that they had to take care of. And then when she got pregnant with Savannah, she was like just the most beautiful baby. Beautiful hair, dimples, everything, and the most well-behaved compared to all the other kids. Rebecca was a crybaby. Tequila was a crybaby. We couldn't get those two, but Savannah was just always so happy and sweet and loving. So when everything started happening, when she had her first seizure and we found out about it, we just thought, she's going to outgrow this. And as it went on, and this horrible disease just kind of progressed, there was one thing that we still saw in her, that sweet innocence that she had, the strength and courage and love that she had, and even to like the last days, every time I would see a picture, I would just see this sweet, beautiful, innocent baby. She didn't have to go through all of the chaos of adolescence and adulthood, but she was the most bravest and the most honest person that you could live and love. And if we can only continue, like everybody has said, to live and love our lives as purely as Savannah, then that's her gift to us. And I appreciate it. I love you guys. I love all of you. Salazars. I know, I've known all of you guys since you were little, so it's a crazy band girl. Anyways, I am very honored to be able to share my love and thoughts with you guys. You're like family, and I love you. Thank you.
Hi. Sorry. I wrote it so that I could pause and hopefully stay under the 3 minutes. My name is Shalana. I'm a family friend and a peer of Savannah's. Okay. Our Nana. We moved here from Hawaii back in 2005. Sorry, I can't see. Back in 2005, which is when I started attending De Portola Middle School. And if anyone has met my mom, Brenda, she proudly admits that she shamelessly has followed me and my sister, Tanisha, to every school we've ever attended. So of course, my mom started working at De Portola Middle School. She started working in the special needs classroom, and it is there in which she got assigned to be one-to-one support role with Savannah. From that point is when Savannah started growing into our life and into our family. Savannah and I are the same age. We are about a year apart in grade. So after De Portola, we both moved to Sarah High School to begin our high school careers. As I mentioned before, my mom is notorious for following me to every school I've ever attended. So it wasn't too soon after my mom transferred from De Portola to Sarah High School to the special needs classroom. And me, being a high school girl, I rolled my eyes, I huffed and I puffed, I said, "Ugh, Mom, you don't need to follow me to high school too," to which my mom responded in a way that was, "Shalana, don't flatter yourself. I'm not following you, I'm following my Nana." This is gonna be over 3 minutes. My mom continued to be a support to Savannah, and it was then that the Benna and Nana saga started. At high school, just now my mom reminded me that I think it was all a setup from the beginning because they would follow me around the high school and say, "No tissing boys." Honestly, I think Savannah was trying to scoop in and get the boys that I liked. It was all a plot from the beginning. But anyways, the Benna and Nana saga started. During those times, my mom became her respite care provider, which then turned into Savannah coming to our house every once in a while, which then melted into having these teenage, boy-crazy slumber parties at our house, which birthed the notorious Tay and Savannah era, which was Savannah's bestie in high school, who also joined the parade of no tissing. All of which led to us ultimately blending with the Salazars, Tracy, Ruben, and Talon, and of course, Nana. It was during this era, Salazars were nothing short of an extension of our family. For example, my sister and Tracy worked on some brainiac things for a period of time. I think my sister shadowed her research work or something along those lines. Stuff that's beyond my brain capacity, but it sounded pretty cool at the time. But we became family, and the anchor to that bond was Savannah Rain. So thank you, Savannah, for bringing these crazy, loud, chaotic, supportive, loving, strong, and powerful families together. As many have already touched on, Savannah was nothing short of quite literally an angel on earth, and she definitely inherited both of her parents' sense of humor. I have a core memory of her chasing my dad James around the house, sneaking up behind him, and scaring him beyond repair by saying, "Boo." And my dad, being the man that he is, and having 2 daughters of his own, he knew the game. He made Savannah feel like she scared him for the first time every time, which happened about 90 times a day. Throughout life, I've always heard the cliche sayings and life advices from highly respected mentors and people with lots of life experiences, often saying along the lines of, always find the rainbow in the storm, or if things in life begin to storm, dance in the rain. However, like many people also say, actions speak louder than words. And I can say wholeheartedly that Savannah's actions spoke louder than my mentor's words. Sorry. Because as everyone mentioned, Savannah was always dancing. No matter what the cards of life dealt her, she always danced. We love you, Savannah, and your impact on each one of us will never fade. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding.
Hi, my name is Sam. I am Nana's big sister. And I was trying so hard this morning at 1:30 trying to figure out what I was going to say about her. And I was asking her for some guidance. And I was looking around trying to find a pen and paper to write down any little memories that I had of her. And the first spot I looked was a photo book of shirtless men that I had gifted her. And I said, okay, boys, I get it. And then I was trying to look up videos on how to write a eulogy. I mean, how can you truly write something about someone that you held? At 4 years old. It's the first memory I have, and Nana is sitting on the couch. And Dad and Tracy handed her down to me. And I looked and I just thought, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she continues to be the most beautiful thing that I have ever seen. She's brought so many laughs, so many stories. And for some reason, I can't help but going back to every story somehow involves a boy. Because it felt like it was always my brothers first. Because they were boys, it didn't matter. And then I was in third place. And then my husband came into the picture, and I got bumped down. I was no longer just Tammy Joe, it was and Nick. Which is fine. I never thought in my life that I would be okay with someone blowing kisses and flirting and shaking their butt at my husband. But I gladly welcomed it. And that's one of the last memories I have of her, because that was just in January. But as I continued to try and find something to write and how to write it, I was looking at videos trying to figure out what I was going to say, and within the section of videos, of course, popped up a Jonas Brothers song. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm like, we will sit here at 1:30 in the morning listening to this Jonas Brothers song on repeat. And we did, until we left this morning to come here. We sat and we listened to it on repeat and painted nails. We sat in the kitchen. And I felt her there. Something that we weren't able to do in life. Stay up late, listening to boys, and painting nails. Couldn't do it in life, but we're doing it now. And I just want to say, I have been feeling her presence a lot lately, more so than I've felt anybody else's presence. And she's just been popping up here and there to me, to my daughters. They were playing tag in the house the other week, and my oldest daughter looked at me and said, "Mom, Nana and I are playing tag and she's running like a normal kid." So just knowing that she's here watching us is just an amazing gift. Knowing that she's looking over our shoulders. And boys, I told Tracy, that very day I said, okay, I'm gonna have to tell my husband to start wearing swim trunks in the shower. I was like, now she is without limits. So Nana Rain, to my baby sister, I'm no longer the one looking down on you. You're looking down on all of us. And I love you.
Here we go. My name is Talon. My name's Talon. I have words from my grandma Liz here, my wonderful, beautiful grandmother here. So I'm going to read those first so I get a hall pass on the 3 minutes here. So I'm going to start with this real quick. Hold on, let me get set up here. Sorry, Dad, this new generation needs to do preparation. Anyway, Savannah Rain was our only granddaughter. She was this little butterball with a head full of thick, unruly hair, happy and silly, your typical toddler. When the seizures began, we had no idea the outcome. As they intensified, and with no solid answers from doctors, Tracy enrolled in college so she could understand how to help her daughter. Everyone knows the story. Tracy continued on to earn her PhD in neurobiology and became an instant advocate for researching this horrible disease affecting her daughter. She would spend hours in her lab searching for a cause and a cure. We didn't really start to see a change in Savannah until around age 6 or 7. Seizures were taking a toll on her learning abilities. So many drugs, so many procedures, and this girl handled it like a champ, always marching to her own beat. Tracy discovered that calcium spiked Savannah's seizures and was able to get her doctor to prescribe a calcium channel blocker. I don't remember the exact percent, but the seizures were more than cut in half. Still they came. More drugs, more procedures. Savannah continued to be a happy girl. She loved boy bands. You know. Furry clothing, purple, pink, shiny. She often commented on jewelry people were wearing. From time to time, we would give her the item. We would give the item to her. We had to draw the line on the fine jewelry, but she still yiked it. She called Jim and I Grandpa, and Jimpaw was Snuffy. Snuffy was our dog. That's how she identified us. Savannah accompanied the family on whatever outing was in store. We took a houseboat trip with the family, Ruben, Tracy, Tal, and Savannah, grandparents, 2 aunties, 1 uncle. One of the days was extremely windy, and we returned from a food run. We found Ruben and Uncle Cosmo struggling to keep the houseboat tied down. Where's Savannah, you ask? If you can imagine this, she was wearing a life jacket strapped to a pole on the boat to keep her in place. They did provide her with a chair, quite the sight. Savannah and the family joined us on our sailboat for a day sail. Before we got out of the jetty, the boat was out of control. Seems Savannah had slipped down the stairs and flipped off all the pretty red lights, also known as the controls. Then there was the refund check we had been waiting for. It arrived. Savannah loved to shred. You can guess what happened to that check. Hide the shredder, Savannah is coming. Dead goldfish, no eye. What? Savannah strikes again. So many stories to tell. Savannah and family came to her Auntie Jamie's wedding in Las Vegas. The TV in their room had commercials for Chippendale dancers. While giggling, she states, "They're naked." She was lots of fun and had a wicked laugh. She could be silly or serious, just go with the flow and live in the moment. That was Savannah. By far, though, what's equally as painful is watching your daughter and your son-in-law grieve for their child. Comforting words elude us. Lots of tears and hugs are all that we can offer, keeping her memory alive. For those believing in God, Savannah is now with him and whole. She is most likely dancing to her favorite boy band and wearing some outrageous outfit. After all, she is a fashionista. Ruben and Tracy, Talon, Ruben, and Sammy too, are an awesome mom and dad and siblings. Ruben was her primary caregiver for over 10 years. They were buds and fussed with each other all the time. "Dad, I'm an adult," or "I'm an American." And most loudly, "Boo Raiders." Talon was an exceptional brother. He loved his little sister and spent lots of time with her. The last memory I have of him playing Blind Date, a board game for girls. They accepted her exactly as she was and lived in the moment. Kudos to the most dedicated and loving parents and brother I have ever known. That is that. Thank you for the wonderful words. Love you, Grandma. So, all right. Was the sound okay on that? Yeah? All right, cool. I didn't want to interrupt the speech and do a sound check. All right. So now my words, all right? And I had to write it down too, so I won't go breaking down, hopefully. I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now to get through these hard moments, especially public speaking and seeing all these faces. I know I'm not the best with the eye contact, but yes, I initially had on here, thinking of Savannah and how to get through these hard moments is like this, she would get this smile of pure joy from the people she cared about or just loved. And you know the smile if you saw it. If she loved you, then you know it. And if you didn't get to see it, I'm so sorry. There's pictures. But yeah, thinking of that always helps me get through some tough moments. My gym pa actually told me today when I saw him too, bite your tongue. That's a good old school one for the old heads there. So thank you, gym pa. And then lastly, what also helps you stay grounded in moments or get through is a bit of anger at times, so thank you, Dad, Yeah, literally. So, tears can dry up real quick, when they're drying off from some heat. So, but anyway, my sister is the biggest reason as to why I express such kindness, caring, and patience to others, within reasonable limits. She tested each trait as a kid, and I got mad like a kid would for whatever dumb reason, because I didn't fully understand the severity of her condition growing up, although I knew she was sick. That changed the older I got, observing and understanding that she needed 24/7 care because of her seizures, shouldn't truly be left alone for long durations, if at all, depending on several factors, with the most impactful being her physical capabilities that day and the energy that was taken or possibly spent by her, taken from the seizures, as y'all know. But, with those limitations, though, and the world that they built, I grew. So seeing the world as an adult and learning about how much the world and adulting is hard and sucks, I realized how special my parents are in terms of what they were able to do. Because of the life they built for and around Savannah, they taught me to believe it's normal to do everything possible to help the person you love. And if you didn't hear me, they taught me to believe it's normal to do everything possible to help the person you love, even if it meant sacrificing personal needs. I do my best to never take moments for granted, especially the memorable ones with the people we love in our lives. And I'm gonna just close out with my favorite thing about her was how much we loved her, and then in turn that she loved us. And I think that's what I gotta say. So thank you.
Smile. We're saving the bell for last. He's last. He's next. Got the bell ready. I remember when Ruben brought the bell home, and he thought that it was a great idea. He was going to give Savannah a bell to ring whenever she needed something. I vetoed that bell right away, and it's been hidden for about 15 years until today. She had that bell for about a day before I was like, oh no, we're not doing the bell. No. I just want to say a couple of things before I bring Ruben up here and we go out and we can have some refreshments, but just thank you guys all for being here. I keep wishing that we'd wake up from this nightmare and she'd be there, but I know that's not true. And she loved so completely. To be loved by her was really true magic. She was genuinely always happy to see you. She loved you. Even if she's never met you, she loved you. And if you were a boy, she loved you even more. And we were so grateful that all of her love of boys was so innocent, but she did. She loved the boys. Shower with those swim shorts, Nick. Not kidding. And in turn, she was loved so completely. And if life were fair, which is not, the reward for the amount of love that this child and young woman gave would have been health and long life. But the life is not fair. And I always thought that we would lose her someday to this awful disease, LGS. But I thought we'd get to say goodbye. I didn't think she'd go to bed one night and not wake up. But she died on her own terms, without suffering, in her own bed, surrounded by her own stuff, with 2 life-size cardboard cutouts of One Direction band members right next to her. She used to love to watch The Wizard of Oz with us, and I remember when she could first tell us what everybody wanted. You know, the Scarecrow wants a brain. My dad not use him Bane, but the Scarecrow wants a brain. Then the Lion wants courage, and the Tin Man wants a heart, and Dorothy wants to go home, and I love home. And I feel like the part in the movie where it goes from black and white to color in Munchkinland, I feel like we've gone backwards. We've lost our color and our spark and our compass. And I hope that the love, I know that even though we feel like we've lost that right now, we haven't, because the love that she's left behind is our compass. And we're going to emerge from this at some point even stronger warriors to fight against this horrible, cruel disease than we were before. I love the stories that you guys have all shared, and there's a QR code that you guys can take a picture of outside in the lobby and share your stories with us on video, and I hope you'll do that, because she was such a joy, and that's what makes me smile and laugh and gets me through, and share them with the family. And I think if she was here, I think that she would say a couple things to her brothers and her sister. To Ruben, I think she would say, that you are the best pillow ever, anywhere on the planet. And she loves you, and you could do no wrong. And you guys just had a relationship of absolute affectionate, hugging, pillow love. And to Sammy, I think she would say, teach my parents how to do my nails, they suck. And she likes your dress, and she likes your shoes, and she likes your Nick. And then I think to Talon, she would say, we had a picture on the wall, Talon Senior picture, and it was like a guru. She would point daily to my brother. I'll take my meds for my brother. The only thing missing was like incense and some, Indian, flowers. And I love my brother, but I wish, I think she would say, my brother came to see me. I love my brother. My brother, I have the best brother. And I hope for all three of you that you will see yourselves the way Savannah sees you. Because you are great brothers and sister. And for her dad, I think she would say, Boo Raiders, that she loved giving you a hard time. And she loved how well you took care of her. And that you were the best dad, unless she was mad at you. But then 5 seconds later, she wouldn't be mad at you again. She lived in the now. She didn't fret about the past or the future. And that was my favorite thing about her. She lived in the now and she loved. And we're going to dance out of here in a few minutes after Ruben speaks. And Dave will tell us how we're going to go out. We're going to have a little dance party down the aisle before we leave. And I want to give you guys 3 of Savannah's favorite dance steps that you can use on the way out. So the first one is, I see boys. That's the first one. The second one is the orangutan. And the third one is, nobody wants to see your booty. So if you don't have any dance moves of your own, Savannah just gave you some. And I just want to say thank you again for being here and for sharing her world with us. I hope you'll share your stories. And I know too that many of you have donated, and we've raised I think nearly $50,000 to fund some incredible research, and we're going to come back and fight this disease, which kills more than half of the people that have it before they reach the age of 40, and it's just cruel and horrible. And many of the families in here have loved ones that are still fighting for their lives every day. So. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to my husband. Buckle up.
They gave me a mic. And a captive audience. Lock the doors. Again, I just want to thank Pastor Janet. She's not only our friend, but she's actually our neighbor that allowed us to use her facilities, and her husband, Dan, the sound man. You can trademark that, Mark. But I want to thank everybody for taking time from their lives here. Savannah, woman. I don't need a mic. But no, I want to thank everybody that's here, took time from their lives to join us in this celebration. It's difficult. They did an interview in 2019 at Disneyland about Savannah and her life. And when I described her passing, that's how it happened. Because I wanted to carry that burden as her dad. But I never factored in that her mama would be traveling, chasing a monster for the families and future families. I just never factored that burden that she'd have to carry, that she didn't get to say goodbye. But when Savannah came into this world, it was April 25th. Her water broke at 6 o'clock. I know, because when I lifted her up, I helped Tracy out of the bed to take her to the bathroom. I thought she peed on my feet. Her water broke, and her dad goes, Ruben, her water broke. I said, no, she peed on me. And what it was is her sister was supposed to be her coach. and Carrie wanted to go get a sandwich. I will mention no names, Carrie. I said, Carrie, I'll go get it for you because Savannah's coming. But she took off, and so then I took off. I said, I'm gonna go find her. So I'm running down the hallway, yelling to move, get out of my way. I got to the cafeteria. I stood on top of the chair, and I'm yelling, Carrie, Carrie. Couldn't find her. I look at my clock. I'm like, holy smoke, I got to get back. So I run back in there and put on the paper suit because her stepmom, which is Tracy's mom's nemesis, was getting dressed to go with Tracy. I'm like, oh, that's not going to end well. So I'll go. So I got dressed. I popped in, and there's Savannah already. 10 minutes after, she's in the nurse's arms with her mom when the cord connected. And so the nurse is like, oh, she's here. She goes, do you want to cut the cord? I'm like, sure. But being a Marine, I've never touched an umbilical cord before, so I thought it was going to be delicate and dainty. So I grabbed it and I started chewing on it. And Tracy's literally bleeding, and she goes, stop messing with these people. I said, sweetheart, I'm just playing around. It's okay. But no, she didn't, so they had me cut the cord. So that means she came in on her terms. No one else's terms except hers. And when she passed, she went out on her terms. It was only me, Freddie, and her daddy. That was it. She went out when she wanted to. But Savannah, I would always call her my sidekick, but it's not true. I was her sidekick. I worked for her. She reminded me that daily, which is why I wanted to go union, But I always treated her like maybe like a baby. And she hated being called baby. She'd say, I'm not your baby. She'd point to my grandkids. She goes, those are your babies. I'm your nana. I'm your nana, Rain. So I played it off. But she'd be doing things like we'd get in the car, and I said, sweetheart, I said, I'll be back, Billy Jack. And I left her in the car, and she looked up from her iPad. She goes, we don't call people names in this family, fat boy. I'm like, I said, what'd you say? She goes, you call me names first. I said, and she goes, now say you're sorry. I'm like, women. I'm sorry, sweetheart. She goes, thank you, and go back to your iPad. So yes, I saw her like that, but I really didn't treat her like she was disabled. She was normal to us, and I never gave her credit for some of the things that she said or she done. One time she goes out there and she came in with a bag of poop from the dog, and I'm like, don't touch me, don't touch anything in this house. And she goes, Dad, I got it. So I gave her another bag. I said, show me. So I went out to the yard, dumped the poop out. How'd you do that? And so she put her hand through the bag like she saw us do, and she picked it up. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't give her credit, but still, don't touch me. You trust with verification. So I did. So yeah, so she was my hippie. If she had been a hippie, and she'd poke the bear because she would call me a liberal. She goes, Dad, you're a liberal. I said, no, I'm not. I'd act like I was mad. She'd call me a liberal. She'd call me a Democrat. Anything to get a rise. She did it, so I didn't need a DNA test of whose daughter that was. She was mine because I do like pushing buttons. That's not true. I like stepping on buttons. But I do. Like everyone else, I always thought that she was our daughter, my daughter. But she didn't. She belonged to a community. She was everybody's girl because they saw her on social media, and at times they'd be like, people thought I was exaggerating on some of the things that she did or said. And when they saw her, like, oh my God, you were not exaggerating. I said, no, I'm not. This girl is, she was a stone in my shoe, a thumb in my eye. And right now, I would take that in a heartbeat again, except when I'm driving. But if I could switch places with her right now, I would. But we still got the Raider season coming up, so that'll have to wait. But again, thank you for sharing your stories with us and being here and celebrating her life and our grief. And it does mean a lot to us. But one regret I do have is that I'll never be able to use her handicap parking placard again. And now I got to walk. I need to get my steps in, which is why I got this. So again, thank you. And in her words, Boo Raiders.
Hard to top that, Ruben. Well, as we conclude our time together today, let's reflect on the soul and spirit of Savannah Rain Salazar, who touched each of our lives in the ways that we will forever cherish. And the stories we just heard from our 9 speakers is just a tip of what everybody could share. And you're right, we could do this for hours and for days. Savannah had a rare gift for connecting with others, a genuine warmth that could warm up any room. Her laughter, her kindness, her sense of fashion, her style. She created a web of love that brought us all together here today. Tracy, I'm glad you got a picture of this. Let's honor Savannah by embracing that spirit of love and her spirit of connecting with people in each of our lives as we move on from today into whatever tomorrow and next week brings. Tracy and Ruben invite each of us to the coffee house right next door, in the plaza, across the plaza, for some light refreshments. The Salazar family will be exiting through the front door as they get ready to meet with each of us after the service. They specifically would love to meet with each of you. So please be sure to gather some refreshments and come up to the family. The rest of us, as Aunt Carrie said, will be following Carrie out the doors that we came in, dancing. In just a minute or two, we'll be hearing some of her favorite music, and I think I might do the orangutan. That'll be a nice one. Yeah. Quick housekeeping, there's restrooms back there. There's also a restroom in the coffee house. I was asked to say that. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 4 says, "There is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance." Savannah would not simply walk her way out. She would dance her way out. So let's dance Savannah Salazar style to some of the best boy band music ever created.
Everybody cut footloose. Kick off your Sunday shoes. Please, Louise, pull me off of my knees. Jack, get back. Come on before we crack. Lose your blues. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. Everybody